Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day to all. Today, we will learn on how to develop and design our own FIR filter, finite impulse response filter, using LabVIEW. We will have two sessions of this. The first session will cover a basic introduction, a brief introduction on how to use LabVIEW. The second session will focus more on how to design your own FIR filter. Okay, so we move on to the first session. So go to your start, locate your NI LabVIEW. So you will see your icon over here, NI LabVIEW 2022. I believe the latest version should be NI 2025. Okay, before we go further on this session, why LabVIEW? Okay, you need to remember, under the programming, you have two types of programming. The first one is your text-based. The example of text-based programming is such as MATLAB, C++, C#, or VB, Visual Basic. But then you have another types of programming, which is the graphical based programming. So LabVIEW is the best, I would say the greatest tool for the graphical based programming. It's easy to use, much more user friendly compared to the conventional. So LabVIEW is a very different from traditional programming. Okay, so it's more like a drawing program rather than a programming language, the text-based programming. Okay, so in terms of the names itself, LabVIEW is Laboratory Visual Instrument Engineering Workbench. Short it up and become LabVIEW. So this LabVIEW focus on graphical programming language that allows for instrument control, data acquisition or DAQ, and pre or post processing of acquired data. Okay, we go back to our Windows over here. So under this, you have to choose blank VI or blank project. So for a start, choose blank VI. Okay, normally for a beginner or for, I would say, a novice programmer, if you are not familiar with a text-based programming, I believe this graphical-based programming is the best for you to explore. Okay, so once you click the blank VI, you have two pop-up window, which is front panel and also the block diagram. Okay, first, just click Ctrl T. This Ctrl T shortcut key will directly minimize and display your front panel and also the block diagram side by side in equal size. So you have your front panel on your left, your block diagram on your right. Okay, so front panel is used for user interface or UI, where the program is controlled, displayed, and also executed. But then under the block diagram, this is where your internal circuit, this is where your programming code is written. And then you have these toolbars over here, almost the same. And then you go to your block diagram, you right click, this is all your functions over here. Remember, block diagram is where your program code is written. Okay, so meaning that this is your programming over here. So you have numeric, you have boolean, you have array, and you have others functions as well. When you right click at front panel, so you have all the controls. Okay, remember, front panel is to control execute and display. It's more like a user interface. So that's why over here it says controls. So if we choose over here, this one is your numeric control, numeric indicator, and also we have dial, we have knob, and others as well. So under Boolean, you have LEDs, round LED, you have square LED, you have toggle switch, or you have slide switch, stop button, and so on. So under front panel, you will have control, numeric control, or control block, and also indicator block. Okay. Remember, front panel is for user interface. A system must have input and output, meaning that input is control, output is indicator, to indicate something, to display something. That is the definition of output. Okay, for input is something that you want to control. You want to give something value to your system so that you will be controlled. Okay, under block diagram, so you have lots of functions, meaning that you have programmed for your front panel. So you have components over here. There are lots of components over here. Then you can choose and then you can wire it together. That's why it calls internal circuit. Okay, let us do a simple programming. I want to switch on an LED. Okay, so first you go to your front panel, you right click, and you go to your Boolean, choose a toggle switch. I put a toggle switch over here, and then again go to your right click at your front panel, go to your Boolean, go to your round LED. Okay, make it bigger. Okay, so you have two icons over here. Once you choose any icons under front panel, you will have two blocks under block diagram. So you have Boolean 1 and also Boolean 2. Remember, under front panel, you need to choose control and also indicator, because we are talking about a system. A system need to have input and also output. How do you want to recognize which one is input or control, which one is output or indicator? Okay, you go to your block diagram. If you take a look at these two blocks, if you notice, there is an arrow inside this block. Arrow 1 under block Boolean 1. This is another arrow under Boolean 2. Okay, if that arrow is pointed outside, towards outside the box, so this is control. If this arrow pointed inside the box, the block, so this is indicator. Okay, so as I said, block diagram is something like internal circuit, and then we need to wire. So we need to wire these two blocks. So you hover your mouse over here, and you can see this icon of your mouse will change to some sort like this. Just wire this. So it becomes one complete circuit. Okay. So if one complete circuit, you can see the run button over here. It will appear a white arrow. This is run once. This is run continuously. You can choose run continuously. Go to your front panel. Front panel is where you control and also execute your program. If you click here, you're able to switch on your lights, your LED. Off, on, off, on. Okay? So, the first session is over. This is the basic usage of LabVIEW. Thank you.